Well, hello, Podia friends. Brittany Hardy, certified Podia Pro here. I am coming at you today with a tutorial on how to create an old school contact form on your website. I can't believe we're calling it old school, but here we are. Usually what you'll see is something more like this, book a chat where someone's linking to their Calendly page, or a button that's hyperlinked to send you an email in order to get people to contact you. But what I'm going to show you how to add is an actual form like this, where someone can fill in their name, email, subject, message. You can add more or less fields if you want, but a way to create conversation beyond just someone opting into your email list or a regular email form like this. We are building a contact form. So you are going to need, of course, your Podia account. Hopefully you have your branding and some of your pages already set up, so this will be a little bit quicker. And then I am going to use ElfSite, which is a piece of software or program where I can create a bunch of different widgets, all of which I can embed into my Podia site. So you can do all sorts of things with ElfSite. You can do countdown timers, you can create calculators before and after school, can you tell? I just picked up my kids from school. Before and after sliders, embed your Google reviews, all sorts of really super cool stuff. You can create pricing tables, but one feature that I really think a lot of people could benefit from is creating a contact form. So okay, we're going to go into our website editor first, and I'm going to start off with a blank page. Now, super important, if you are in the habit of creating 1,000 bajillion pages like me, go and name that new page right away, because if you don't do that, you're going to end up with a whole bunch of stuff over here on the side called new page. And you have to click into each one to figure out what they are, and it's super frustrating. Also, pro tip, if you have a lot of pages and they're really hard for you to scan and organize, I did a cleanup last month, actually, and I put emojis before the page names in here so that I could really easily at a scan see, okay, these are all my client stories that I have. Any of these little form icons are like internal forms that I use where I redirect clients to front-end website pages. I'm using the computer emoji, so it just really helps me visually be able to see, or this little magnets for different pages for lead magnets. So take that for what it's worth. But I'm going to go and I'm going to rename my page to start, and I'm going to call this contact me. Actually, let's have my name, for some search engine benefits. Contact Brittany Hardy, Podia Pro. The actual URL of the page is just going to be /contact to make it nice and easy. You can decide if you want to toggle on or off the header. I'm going to leave it on. I'm not adding this to the menu of my website, but if I wanted to do that, I would add a new link. I might call it contact. And then I'm going to say what page I want it to go to. That's how easy it is to add it to the menu. I'm not, because this is a demo, but that's how you would do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to get rid of this section that's here by default because I don't need it. Now I have a blank page. I have my header and I have my footer. I'm going to click this new box here, and I am going to add just a plain text box. I'm not going to do anything with this yet other than give it a title. So something I want to show up above the form. I'm just going to say contact Brittany Hardy, certified Podia Pro. Okay. Now, I'm going to go generate now the contact form itself over an ElfSite, and then I'm going to come back here and embed it into my Podia site. So all I've done so far, I've gone into my website editor, I've created a new page, and I've added a text box. That's it. Okay, now I'm going to go over here into ElfSite, and I'm going to, let's move my camera here, click create widget. Now I've already found the contact form widget itself. If you need to go a step back, you can go into the catalog, and there's all of the different widgets you could create are here, but I've already got contact form selected. Okay, so once you choose contact form, they're going to give you some different templates that you can choose from. So there are things that look like this if you want to create like a support request form, which is pretty cool if you offer services. You can have a request to call box where people can pick a date and time. You can have a form that kind of floats. I'm going to use inline, but I'm just going to go with, I'm going to use email form, and I'm going to say continue with this template. And now here's the fields you can add. So if you want to add more fields, go for it. If you want to have people have to create, select like a, I don't know, maybe this is like, how did you hear about me? Just as an example. then you can add, Podia Pros. That's how most people find me. Or maybe it's Google or social media. So those are your choices that are going to show up here. Okay. And then you have some control over if you want to add a header, change your button, footer, success message, all of that stuff. So I'm going to edit the success message. I'm just going to say, got it. I will reply to you ASAP. And then I want a little close button so that it goes away if they click close. And then if you want to make, certain fields mandatory or not mandatory, you can do that. So I'm going to have my email and my message, of course, as mandatory. The other fields I'm going to leave that they could submit without filling that in if they wanted to. So that's on your form settings. Then email. So this is the email address that is associated with your Elf site account. So if you want to add multiple emails that would get notified on this form, you can. I'm just going to leave it by default as mine. And then if you want to change the sender name, you can do that. So maybe it's contact form from, okay, name it something that makes sense for you. I'm going to say contact form from EDS website. The subject, I'm going to say, I'll just leave it as this. Now, make sure you don't mess around with this placeholder because that's what's going to pull in the actual data that they have sent you. I'm not configuring any advanced email settings at this time, but if I wanted to copy or blind copy someone on my team so they're notified, I could do that, but we don't need to. And then in layout, I'm going to leave it as inline, and I'm going to also leave it as vertical. The only thing I might change on my appearance is maybe I'll make it, close-ish to my color purple. Font, I'm going to leave, I'm going to go with this or the old school square for the layout. And then I'm going to go to settings. Now you can enable kind of the, your spam protection if you want to. For the demo, I'm going to leave it off, but you might want to place it if you're finding you're getting a lot of spam through your website. This is what you want them to do after this form's filled in. I'm just going to have it show the success message again for the purpose of this demo, but if you want to redirect to another page on your site or elsewhere on the internet after, you can do that. You don't need to bug around with any of these integrations unless you are doing some other advanced configuration, so perhaps later I'll integrate with Zapier so that I can push my form data into Notion, which is where I kind of have like my master database of all my contacts and projects, but for now, doesn't matter. I'm going to manually put these in. Now, the only other thing I wanted to do is align my button. I feel like it looks weird. This button's floating in the center, so I'm going to move it to the left. Okay, and then I'm going to name this contact form. Make sure you give your widget a name so that when you're back in your Elf site account, you know what it is. I'm going to publish this. Okay, so quick refresher. We logged into Podia, we created a new page, we named our page, and we put a text box on it. Then we went to Elf site, we found the contact form, and we configured the form how we want. Now the last step is going to be to install it on the Podia website. There's a little bit of a tricky thing we have to do with creating the share link, and I'm going to show you that now. So some of these widgets, I will give you an example. So, okay, this is an old content template pack counter I created. So on this one, if I click install, I have the option where it gives me this share link, and the share link is what I need to be able to embed into Podia. I can't use the embed code itself. It's not going to accept this. I need the share link or what's inside of an iframe. So my contact form, you will see here, if I click install, it doesn't have that. So I would have to request installation, but I'm going to show you how to do that because the Elf site would just send you a help article. Anyways, I'll show you how to do it. But you can't use this embed code. It doesn't do anything. So what you have to do, and I have a bit of a funky way that we're going to do this, how I copy it. So you go back into the editor and you're going to grab this link up here, everything after the last /. So we don't need --elfsite.com/widget. We need the text that's after. So I'm going to grab that. I'm I'm just going to paste it here. I'm not going to go to this because it's nothing, but I'm pasting it into my browser bar so that I have it. And then, okay, and then what we need to do, again, this is from their help article, we have to make it like an iframe link. I know this is kind of confusing. So the widget's without a share link, so this is where it's showing us grab this part of the link from the editor, and we're gonna paste it in to another link. I'm not explaining this very well, but basically I'm gonna take this piece and I'm gonna paste it here where it says widget ID without hyphens, which means get rid of the hyphens. All right, now my link looks like this: https:// the widget ID without the hyphens .elf.site. That's the link that I need. I will probably include the link to this tutorial below, ElfSite's tutorial below the video in case you guys get stuck. Okay, so that's the link that's on my clipboard. I'm back over here in Podia. In the text box that I have, I'm going to type my / to bring up this menu in the text editor. I'm going to click embed, and then I'm going to paste this link over here. Now, sort of like a funky thing when you embed stuff into text boxes, it's there. I can see it on the left-hand side. It's not showing it over here in the preview. That's okay. I'm going to publish this and click view site so you can see it because it is there. So now I have my contact page. I would be putting more stuff on this page. It would be a lot less boring, but again, for the demo, you can see it. Now I have my text that's here from the Podia backend, and then I have my contact form, and I will show you what happens when someone fills it out. So let's do a little test so you guys can see it actually works. Testing. I love this contact form. Send. There's my success message that I configured over in ElfSite, and I should have an email over here. Here it is. So here's my email. It just says, tells me where this is coming from. Here's where we configured the title of that so I can see them in my inbox, contact form from EDS website, and what someone put in there. So that is that. That is how to add a contact form to your Podia website. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions, I'm happy to support you as best as I can in the chat. And if you need to get a hold of me, you can always head over to emptydesksolutions.ca. My free coffee chats are always open. Have an awesome day.